Welcome back. This is Business Week. My guest this afternoon, Besnon Uwatse, Managing Director of the Mercedes-Benz Center and Chairman of the Board of Westar Associates Limited. Besnon, interesting few opening. Again, the problem in Nigeria seems that we need to go back to what we've done before in the past. It's clear that we do have the capacity to have car assembly plants with the level of our economy and, of course, the population of this country. Again, the whole strategy of the import substitution industrialization is something that we need to begin to revisit because, like you said, even at the lower end of the markets, I mean, clearly there is a demand there.
Yes, there is a demand, but you can't force it. If there is justification, economic justification, you can be sure that there will be some investors that will take on the challenge. When you have a system where in the past the assembly plants were built virtually by government imposition, you find that over time the justification not being there, they tend to get into trouble. Somebody has to have a vested interest. There has to be a demand to meet for investors to put in their money into it. But right now, until government takes a good look at the industry and recognizes the importance of the industry in terms of its contribution to the economy, policies at the moment are such that investors will shy away from going into this industry of building assembly plants. I know you are very interested in this issue, but the facts are such that until you have policies that encourages and not flip-flops, policies that will be guaranteed to remain for some time, for a long period of time, to justify the investment. Until then, I don't think we should deceive ourselves by saying that we will have an assembly plant tomorrow or something like this.
But it is possible.
It is absolutely possible. As I said, in the case of Toyota, for example, I'm not here to speak for Toyota, but I know that they have enough demand to justify the investment. But they shy away from it because I believe the policies are not right.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's a key issue. Now let's talk about certain other issues. I mean, the recurring theme really is policies and how government can begin to put the right policies in place to support industry. Let's take a look at the automobile industry in general. One of the key areas is the industry reputation. Typical used car salesman syndrome, and that's a major problem because every Tom, Dick, and Harry sells cars, but do they really know what they're doing?
Most of them, I'm afraid to say, do not know what they're doing. Most of the so-called car dealers cannot tell you the difference between automatic transmission and a sunroof. Yes, but that also is as a result of the openness and lack of control in the industry. If standards were to be set and minimum entry requirements were to be put in place, a lot of the so-called car dealers would not be in this business because they are just traders.
So just another means to make a buck.
Just to make a buck, fly by night. And we also have the issue of the grey market. Somebody who's based in Belgium is shipping cars to Nigeria, has his cousin here, just selling the cars. And what happens? When something goes wrong, they can't help you. They haven't got a workshop. We have spent a lot of resources setting up workshop because anyone can sell you a car, but what happens when something goes wrong? Even a Mercedes-Benz will develop some fault at some time. And what do you do? That's why we focus our attention on workshop facilities of the highest possible standard. In fact, our new center has just been adopted by Mercedes-Benz as a training center for West Africa. They'll be sending the trainers here from Germany to train people, to educate our technicians. And I recall at the opening of our center, the permanent secretary who came to represent the governor advised us, and we took it very seriously, that we should also have a program for training young technicians on the new technology and so on. That was Tunde Raji. And we have already started.
But so the question is that it's not selling a car goes beyond just selling that car, but you have to provide the after-sale service. I believe that is even more important than the sale, the sale of the car itself.
As I said, anyone and his cousin can sell you a car. But how do you maintain the cars?
So, but in that case, the way I see it, as with any other place that is reasonable in the world, is that why doesn't the government begin to regulate this industry? Because clearly this is an industry in need of regulation, and serious ones, because there are issues of standards, there are issues of quality, and more importantly, the parts. How do you know the genuineness of the parts you get in the markets today? We get all parts dumped in this country from all over the world.
In our own sector, in our own subsector of the industry, that is in Mercedes-Benz, we discovered that up to 70% of the spare parts sold in the open market, 70% are fake.
Mercedes spare parts?
Spare parts that you buy from the open market, they are fake. They come from all kinds of places. And this is also why, as I said, we focus very strongly on after sales, maintenance.